Hi everybody, Kaiwaza with you and welcome back to my channel and yet another video. And today, as I'm filming this, it is Wednesday night, the night before the Thanksgiving holiday. And I'll upload this when I go to bed tonight. So I hope that all of you are enjoying or will enjoy or have enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday, whether you spent it with friends, family, loved ones, or by yourself, which many people are doing this year. Anyway, I don't have any plans to do anything at this point other than to eat my frozen turkey TV dinner and stovetop stuffing, which I got today. Yeah, I don't know, kind of by choice. I'm not really... Usually a lot of holidays I do have some invitations to do things, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I just, not negatively, I just like, nah, I'm fine. And this year with the COVID and all that, I'm fine by myself. I'll just spend it here and maybe rewatch the Macy's Thanksgiving Today parade, because it'll be, are they doing it? Maybe they're not even doing it this year. I don't know, I didn't check. Well, I can watch like videos of old ones too, so I like that. It's sort of nostalgic. So anyway, I wanted to do another video of what I am thankful for, which my friend Layla of Layla's Lovely Life, sorry, Leela, this was her idea to do a 30 days of thankfulness or things to be grateful for or whatever during this month of Thanksgiving, November. I thought it was a great idea because so much has been going on this year that is negative or people feel negative about. I think it's a great idea to not kind of lose sight of the many things that we do have to be thankful for in our own life. So I have been doing a few videos and I wanted to do one today. And actually, I'm not going to just talk about one thing today. I'm going to sort of throw in a few things. I think 3 things I want to talk about briefly, each one that I personally am very thankful for. They might sound a little strange to you, but I am really thankful for public transportation here. I have lived in some different places. But 2 places that I have lived, Portland, Oregon, and Honolulu, both have really excellent public transportation. I lived in South Carolina, in Charleston for a while. And I don't know about now, because this was quite a while ago, but Charleston had public transportation, but it was essentially unusable because, like, we lived in the West Ashley area of town, and there was literally like one bus route that covered the entire West Ashley, and it only came around like once every hour. So if you were trying to use it for work or someplace you had to be, it was not really usable for that at all. And I did, we did have a car in Charleston, but actually and we had a car in Portland too, and I sort of shared it with my boyfriend, although he really had it a lot more than I did. And when I was in Portland, I really became, enamored with their public transit. I had lived in Hawaii previously from like 81 to 87, and I was a student, and I used the bus all the time here, as they call it, the bus. And it's a great public transportation system. So when I was in Oregon, I was used to, public transit, and Portland bus system was great. If you didn't have a car, you could get around very easily. All the different neighborhoods, you just get your, either pay individually by the fare or get your monthly bus pass. When I went back on a visit a couple of years ago, it's also all online. You can actually just get your bus pass for a week or a month or whatever online and just scan. They're starting to do that here, but they haven't switched over all the way here yet, which will be great when they do it. But I have never owned a car in Hawaii, either the first time I lived here from 81 to 87 or when I moved back from 97 up to the present. I have never had a car here. This is a very expensive place. I live in a, it's kind of on the cheap, very much the cheaper end of what I can afford. And it's a lot cheaper to get a bus pass than it is to have a car, and parking can be such a problem in Honolulu, and we do have really bad traffic. A lot of people don't realize that. So I completely make use of the public transit here, and the buses are clean and they run pretty regularly on the schedule. I live in Waikiki, and the access to other areas with different bus routes that come in and out of Waikiki is very, very good. So for me, it's really a blessing, and I'm really thankful for it so much, because I don't have to worry about having a car and insurance and paying for parking all these different places and paying for parking in your building and et cetera, et cetera. So it cuts back on expenses a lot for me to just pay I think it's $70 now, $70 a month for a bus pass. I can't wait till I get to be, I think it's 63 or 65 or something, when it becomes like $30 a year or something, the official senior. Can't wait for that. Anyway, so I'm very thankful for public transportation, really thankful. Something else I'm very thankful for is live365.com, which is a company I've actually been dealing with for a long time. That's where I have my two online radio stations, Moody Mood Music and Hawaiian Hi-Fi. And I was with them for a long time before, and then they actually, when the internet broadcasting laws changed, they actually shut down and they went bankrupt and they closed down. And that was kind of the end of that. And I had really enjoyed it because, I am very passionate about my Hawaiian records, as you know, if you watch this channel, and I love the old easy listening records. And this Live 365 company, after a few years of going under, resurfaced with new ownership, and it's been really, really wonderful. And they have a good support system and all of this. But what I'm so thankful for about it, the average person, if they want to, can actually start their own radio station that anybody in the country or a couple of countries can listen to, have access to. So you don't have to be a technical expert. I used to work in radio. I mean, I have, and I think many people that have stations there, it is kind of a hobby now for them. It's something they have done in the past. But not everybody, not at all. But it's something I did do professionally in the past. But now I just love having the radio station to share my old Hawaiian records and the old easy listening, because I could just be in here playing the records by myself, this huge collection of like 2,500 Hawaiian records. That would be fine. There's nothing wrong with that, to just have them and enjoy them myself. But I really love being able to share those two radio stations and those two kinds of music with people who discover it, who also really enjoy it. But there really is not very many places where you can hear that kind of music. There's a lot of places where you can hear Hawaiian music and Hawaiian radio and whatever, but it's a lot of the more contemporary stuff and modern stuff, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm playing and what I don't, it's records, so it's not the modern stuff. It's like about 89 is about the latest that you're going to get a vinyl record out in Hawaiian music. So it's all, pre-90s, and it goes way back to like the 40s. So and not just Hawaiian artists, but the easy listening, the Andy Williams and the whoever, Lawrence Welk's orchestra or whatever, everybody that did Hawaiian albums, because it was a popular thing at a couple of different times in the past. So that kind of music, nobody is playing that anymore. There's not a radio station you can tune in somewhere and listen to, the Living Strings play Hawaiian music. It's not going to happen. But there's Hawaiian Hi-Fi, because that's what I'm doing. So it's kind of cool for, to be able to do that. The same with the Moody Mood music. That old easy listening music just takes me back to like my childhood, and I'm hearing the music, and all of a sudden I just am immersed with the feeling of it being, 1975, and I'm at Kmart in the summer of 1975 picking out a hamster, and super excited because after we eat, we're going to go to Shoney's for lunch and have strawberry pie, It just takes you back to a certain time, the same way that Christmas music does for a lot of people. a lot of the old easy listening does that with me. It just takes me back in time, and it's great to be able to share that with people the few people. Obviously, you're narrow casting to like a small finite group of people. I'm very aware of that, but they enjoy it, and you do hear from them, and they do send you, good wishes and thanks, and they're appreciative, and will say things like, this kind of music just really calms me down, and I don't like a lot of the contemporary current music, and this is just, to me, is beautiful music, and it just relaxes me and whatever, and it's so nice to hear from people. So I'm really appreciative that Live 365 came back and seems to have been doing well, and that I'm glad to be a part of it and share music with people around the world. Which, before I leave the subject of 365, I should tell you something kind of related to that. I'm doing something for the holidays this year that maybe you want to get in on. I don't know. But for both my listeners, both of my listeners on the radio station, and for listeners of both radio stations, and also my YouTube channel, which you're watching now, I would like to send out Christmas cards this year. So you have a choice of either a vintage Christmas card, which will be mailed to you no matter where you live in the world, it doesn't matter what country, using vintage stamps, because I have a lot of vintage Christmas cards that I get all the time whenever I see them, and I have a lot of old unused postage that I love to use because it's legal to do that, and I love, it's like getting a piece of mail that's been lost, for 40 years. Or if you would rather, and you can do both, I can send you a Hawaiian Christmas, specifically Hawaiian Christmas card, also mailed with vintage stamps. So you just send your name and your mailing address to the emails I'll have below in the description. But for a Hawaiian one, to hawaiianhifiradio @yahoo.com for just a vintage American type Christmas card, to moodymoodmusic @yahoo.com, and I will be happy to send you a holiday greeting card type of your choice, just as a way of saying thank you, and because I know this has been kind of a crappy year for people, and I enjoy doing it, so I just want to do something nice. Yeah. Finally, the final thing I want to talk about today that I am thankful for is what you're watching right now. I actually am very thankful for YouTube. I've been watching YouTube for many, many years, but I didn't really understand it at first. I mean, I would watch things, and I don't think it was until I'd been watching things for like 2 years ago, this would have been about 10, 11 years ago, when I actually discovered totally by accident somehow that you have a page. Like Kaiwaza is my YouTube channel name, and like there's a page for my channel. And if I record videos and stuff, they show up on that page. Like, I didn't know that. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I guess you just record things and they're just out there, and you didn't actually have like a channel. So I started recording things about 10 years ago, and very, very, basic things with the camera that was not totally that great. And I look at some of that stuff now and go, oh my gosh, that was not well done. But not like I'm some super pro now, but it's much, the quality is much better. The quality. And then, I started recording things, and eventually did a series on the Hawaiian record, showing every single record. I've done series on other things. Candles, got into scented candles and doing reviews. At first I thought that was the weirdest thing when I discovered channels of people that reviewed scented candles. I was like, what is that? Like, I mean, I like candles and stuff, but are you for real? Like, you review them or whatever and do hauls? Like, people like to just watch what somebody else bought. They just want to look at it. And then I discovered it is kind of mesmerizing, Anyway, I started doing, my videos, and have done a million videos on different things. And through it, what I really love about YouTube is that it is for the people, by the people. Now, I know, yeah, it's a big company, and, they pull the strings, and you don't really have control over that much, etc. Well, you have control over a lot, actually, but I had a whole channel pulled down a couple years ago that I had that was just music stuff. It wasn't me talking. It was just a separate channel that was all music. Didn't have any copyright violations or any copyright strikes at all, zero. And they just pulled the whole station, and overnight, it disappeared. And despite several requests, just trying to get information, they would never tell me why they took it down. They'd never tell me. And I requested to have it put back up a couple times, which I've heard you could do, and it was denied immediately. And so I have no idea what happened with that, but that was like 3,000 videos that just disappeared. But what are you going to do? So I know, we don't really have control over what happens, but still, it is a vehicle, a platform where just the average Jane, the average Joe can pick up a camera, can pick up their phone, if they have something to say or something to share, if they're just, they're just lonely, or they just want to talk, or they just want to talk about, Christmas tree ornaments or something. I mean, whatever interests them, whatever hobby they have or interest, or things that are on their mind, things they want to show somebody how to do that they figured out. It's really wonderful. And I find over time that, the channels and the people that I become the most attached to and the most loyal to are the very sort of basic, more homespun type of videos. Like, I appreciate people doing really television quality, theatrical quality editing with amazing music, and it's like watching a documentary or something. They're very, very good at what they do, and I can appreciate that. But when it's all sponsored by certain companies, and there's product placement, or they have to talk about whoever is sponsoring them, it's okay. I mean, it's not like a bad thing. I just find myself personally, I'm not as interested in watching that after a while, because then it's like watching a TV show, and like, that's not what I want. I like the sort of rawness of just people talking and showing something, and it being a more unedited, not totally unedited, but a more unedited sort of thing, where it's just like we're talking with each other, we're visiting and having a conversation over coffee or tea or whatever. Like, that's kind of, in the end, the stations that I'm more drawn to and more attracted to. And so I try and keep mine that way too. I can do some sort of fancy, not amazingly wild, but I can do some sort of fancy editing. I don't know if you ever saw the blogs I did when I visited Portland a while back, and some of my postcard videos are more edited, and I can do it, but and I'm probably going to do a series coming up on Hawaiian postcards and paper ephemera that will be a little bit more edited. But in the end, I just sort of like a lot of conversational videos and just showing you everyday life and things that they do. And sometimes I watch channels of people, what they're doing, I'm not even that interested in. I mean, I've watched videos of people, well, you know who you are, but like people doing your makeup. Like, I'm sitting there like, why am I sitting here watching this, 20-minute video of somebody doing their makeup? But yet it's like very engaging. You find, personalities and people that you just are drawn to and you really enjoy. And it, like I said, it's like sitting down and having coffee with them. So they could really be talking about anything, really. And that's something about YouTube I think is really, particularly during this pandemic period, I'm especially thankful for, because a lot of us have been more isolated. We haven't seen as many people as we might normally be seeing. I haven't been working at all, so I've just been at home, and I'm okay by myself. I mean, I'm not a person that's like, I can't stand to be by myself. I totally can. I'm completely fine by myself. But I enjoy, interaction, and I enjoy other people. And I think YouTube, for many of us during this time period especially, has been a real point of connection where, I've met people here that I've become friends with. I've met some people on here that I've actually met in real life that ended up, coming to Hawaii or whatever. So I think that's the most wonderful thing about YouTube is, you can actually impact somebody's life uh, with what you're doing, with what you're saying, and it's kind of amazing, really. And I'm really thankful that this venue is out there. Like I said, it's not perfect, and you don't have control over everything, but it's legit. Like, you can share things, and you can have an impact on people's actual lives with what you're saying and what you're doing. So I think I'm pretty thankful for that we have that. And I'm sure in some places they don't even have that amount of freedom at all, to do. So I think we're really fortunate in that respect. I'm really thankful for YouTube. I'm really thankful for live365.com. I'm really thankful for public transportation. It's been great for me. So those are three things that today I'm thinking I am just particularly thankful for. And thank you guys for watching. Leave me a note and check out Leela's Lovely Life for her videos, and let me know what you're thankful for today, anything you're thinking about in particular. And don't forget, if you want a Christmas card, instructions are below what kind you want. You can get one or the other, or you can get one of each if you want. That's fine by me. And we will talk to you soon. I don't know exactly when, but probably pretty soon. I'm thinking I want to do some Christmas music videos, like talking about showing Christmas records and talking about like budget label Christmas records, because they're kind of interesting. But anyway, I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk to you in the next video.